Hey guys, and welcome back to Tennis 360 podcast. Today we've got a very exciting podcast. Today we're doing an interview with a professional player on the ATP Tour. My name's Anthony Hirsch.
And I'm Eliza Wastcoat.
And we will be interviewing Jefferson Wendler. Very excited to be giving the interview. And how are you doing? Thank you for coming on here. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you guys for the invitation. I just got back from practice, and I hope I can share a little bit about me, about my knowledge through this channel, and make this interview nice. All right. My English is not that good. It's not my first language, but I think I'm gonna be just fine.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good.
I think you're doing great. Yeah. And tennis is obviously a global sport. So the fact that you speak English, you're doing better than us. We don't speak other languages. So
That's
you're
true.
doing well.
That's true. Yeah, I can't do any of them. So.
Yeah, so just to kind of get started and jump into things, we'd love to kind of give you the opportunity to tell us a little bit more about yourself, kind of your journey with tennis so far in life, kind of how you gravitated towards the sport and what your experience has looked like, going from an amateur player to a professional player and kind of how you balance that journey.
All right, so I think it would have been nice if I start saying that I'm 28 years old and I just got my first two ATP points a month ago. So it's kind of unusual because we see young players doing this path. So it's kind of unusual. That's why the story got around and everybody saw it. And but my journey through the tennis it started. A long time ago. I started playing when I was 6 years old. I remember when I was 10, I was practicing every day. I was doing physical training as well. So it always been a long journey for me. I always been in the top of the nation here in Brazil. I'm a Brazilian, and I wasn't the best, but I was pretty close from the best players here in Brazil. So my first international experience through the tennis was like playing banana ball. It's a really big tournament here in Brazil. And I remember that I played the top 10 guys from COSAD, which is pretty good. And I lost 7-6 in the third set, so it was pretty tight. And I was 16 years old, so that was the first time that I noticed that I was good, that I could. I know, I wasn't far from the best players at my age, so but I never had the opportunity to really try to be pro. It's pretty expensive here in Brazil, the practice, everything, the cost is huge. So the best way for us is go to college, get a scholarship, playing tennis in the US. So that's what I did. I went to Jacksonville State University. It's in Alabama. It's a first division. It was like the best experience that tennis could ever provided so far, right? But it's like when you play college, it's like you see a lot of players playing their best. You feel like if you're not the best one, you feel like you're just another one. So it's pretty good. It's pretty intensive. You practice a lot. You have a lot of matches, which is good. You got a lot of you get a lot of experience to win matches. And another positive point is because you don't play by yourself, so you got a team. So every point is important. Maybe that day you're not feeling that well, but your team need you to win. So it's kind of pushes you to play best, right? So I didn't finish my study. I just went to 1 year and a half there. The dollar got too expensive back those days, and my parents couldn't afford. Even with the scholarship, it was too expensive for me.
Mhm.
So I went back to Brazil and I started a regular life, like my friends, like every normal person, which is not in the sport area, right? So
Mhm.
I started to study for industrial engineer. In the last semester in this year, so I'm graduating. I always had this dream to study engineering, which was really good to be here and had the opportunity to graduate. And and I when you start a college here, you don't have a lot of paths. So or
Mhm.
you have to get a internship, because if you don't do an internship, it's gonna be really hard to get a job after you graduate.
Mhm.
So I start really in my third semester. I was doing internship already because I was older than the other students. So I always thought it was important to be ahead on this journey, like working and learning. So 2 years ago, I work in three companies along 5 years of my life, and then last year I quit the job and I started to teach tennis as a job. So I was like teaching kids, I was teaching old people, I was teaching like young players who have the goal to be a pro or go to a college. So I was teaching every kind of tennis player here in my city. We have a lot of courts, so it gets cheaper to do tennis because you're not paying for the court. You're just paying for the professional, and that's all. So
Mhm.
my classes got like this got huge. I was like teaching 35, 30 hours a week. So I think it's a lot.
Yeah.
Going, yeah, and then I was like going to the university at night. So during the day I was teaching tennis, and at night I was going
Wow.
to the university. And
Wow.
in this year, I was like, man, I'm not playing tournaments, and that's what I like. I feel like I'm playing well. I'm I got better teaching. I was like trying to do the things that I teach, so I got better. And this year, I was like playing every. Here we say like money tournament. We have a lot here in my city, like tournaments with prize money, which is good. But like it's like amateur, and sometimes when the prize is good, we see some ATP players like top. I don't know, like the guys in my situation with 1 point, 2 points, 3 points, not something big, but like people that is struggling with the situation, right? And I would start beating guys with ATP points, and I was like, "Come on, man, I can do it. I can do it." But it's really hard to a player to get to the pro, because I mean there's 8, 7 tournaments every week, like M15 or M25. But if you don't have a ranking, or you get like 100, 200 alternate to get into this tournament. So
Yeah.
it's impossible. You have to be following the calendar, seeing like I don't know, in Egito there was a three spot which nobody played. So you buy a ticket, you go to Egito next week. So it gets too expensive. And every week that I'm playing, I'm not teaching, I'm not getting paid. So
Yeah.
I feel like it's it's tough for me, because every class, every hour that I spend teaching tennis, I feel like I'm 1 hour away from my dream. So
Mhm.
it's been hard for me to keep these two things separate. But getting back, and this year, here in my state, there's a federation which helps with tennis, and it was a future in São Paulo, here in my state. So this federation organized a pre-quali for the players. and the prize would be the champion would go to straight for the main for the main draw from M15. And I played this tournament. I won 5 matches. I beat two guys with ATP points in this tournament. But in the final, I injured my shoulder. It
Oh.
was like it was a Friday, and next Monday I would be playing. So I didn't have the time to recover myself. I was like
Mm.
really sad. I remember that day that I lost. I feel like I could win that game, but I was like struggling with pain, and my mind was killing me. Like I was waiting my whole life for this opportunity, and when I
Mm.
had it, I was like injured, and I never had injury in my life. So it was the
Mm.
first time that I was struggling with that, and I couldn't play my best, and I lost the game. And I remember like crying 2 days in a row, really
Yeah.
sad because I was like, "Come on, what is this story telling me? Should I stop? Should I teach tennis? Should I keep trying my dream to make a ATP point? I don't know." It was like, and then I recovered from my shoulder, and three weeks later, the same federation organized the same, like pretty much the same tournament, but the prize would be playing a quali from a Challenger 100. So it was like huge tournament. I bet three guys with ATP points in this tournament. It was like 5 matches, and the last match was on Friday. Saturday, I was at the place which would be the tournament. I was like feeling the tournament. I was like hitting with the pros. I was like feeling the atmosphere, different from the last time that I was like I just went in at the time of my game. I wasn't feeling good. I didn't warm up well because I didn't know if I would have feel my shoulder. So it was terrible for me,
Mm.
psychological. In the second opportunity, I was like feeling the moment, enjoying the atmosphere. I was like, come on, that's really huge to be here. I don't need to win. I just need to enjoy it. And then I played on Sunday. I played my first game against Pedro Boscardin. It's like it's a guy 420 ATP ranking right now, but he was like 280 1 year ago. He's like really good player. He's young. I knew about him. I was following him on Instagram. I'm pretty huge of fan of tennis, so I keep following every Brazilian player on Instagram.
Yeah.
There's some Instagram pages which help us to follow the results. So it's good to follow them. And I was like there playing against him, and I think that my mistake was just to be there was enough for me. I didn't notice that I didn't realize that I could win a match. I was like, I bet a guy top 900. It was my best result so far. But beat a guy 400 in the ATP, it's pretty hard from a guy without ranking, right? Without confidence, without practicing, without everything that I was. I was a tennis teacher. I wasn't a player, and I was facing a guy with a coach, with a physical coach, with whatever, like every he had everything that he needs to be a pro. And I was like
Mm.
just feeling the moment. And I remember that I lost the first set 6-love. It was really I
Uh,
was like, come on, man, you're not gonna get 6-love again. I was like trying to score a game. That's what my mind was at the time, which was bad. That's what I think was my mistake. And when was the game was 5-2 for him in the second set. I lost the first, and he was serving, which got really harder for me. And I remember to sit, and I was like, I'm not that religious, but I talk to God consistently. So I was like, come on, God, it's so good here. I'm feeling that I belong to here. I'm not playing my best. I'm playing like 50% that I could. Let me be here a little bit longer. Just I didn't wish for the win, but I remember to telling him to be there a little bit longer. And after that, I played my best tennis so far, and it's kind of I never I was like trying to remember when I had a win like this in my entire career, and I don't remember. Like 6-love, 5-2, and the guy was serving uh top 500 in the world. I mean, quite impossible, but I mean that was my day. I know if I played that guy 10 more times, he would have beat me 10 times possibly. But I know there's a bit of gap between us. But be there playing that atmosphere, I feel like I could try. You know, I don't know if I can get it, but I know I feel like I could try. I could practice more. I could improve my game. Search for a coach and talk to my students, see how they can help me to help me out through through this journey through this journey. I mean, helping me with flying tickets, hotels, food, whatever. I feel like they would help me out. So since
Yeah.
since I got these points, I'm struggling with how can I search for my dream and stop teaching tennis and go forward, like go 100. Every day that I'm teaching tennis is killing me because I know I could be doing much more than I am right now. So it's kind of killing me inside. I know I couldn't be doing much better than I am, but I have to teach. I have to give, I don't know, 6 hours a day at least to pay my bills.
Yeah.
I'm 28 years old. I got a lot of bills already, and I got my university. I got my car. I got insurance. I got a lot of stuff that I can just simply ignore it. So I'm
So
struggling with
Jeff,
that.
let us ask you a question. So you said you went to the US for college tennis. It didn't work out. You played, for a year and a bit. You came back to Brazil and you were kind of in limbo for a period of time of, you said tennis was very expensive, difficult to go pro. You were looking at other opportunities in terms of furthering your education and studying. Can you just give us a little snapshot in that in-between period before you were coaching a lot? How often were you able to play? What was kind of your state of mind? Figuring out or letting go of the potential of going pro as a young person in your early 20s, and what advice or maybe what kind of feelings can you share with somebody else who might be kind of 20 years old or 19, 20 years old who is struggling to kind of think about what a long-term career could look like for them in the sport? How would you tell them to keep going? Kind of what did you do in order to at least keep the dream alive? I mean, I know you say you're kind of still working on it, and how that's going to come to life is still unknown for you, but you win your first point in 2023. So from the age of 19 to 28, can you give us some more color as to how life looked for you?
Yes, of course. I think the biggest win for me through this situation is because in tennis everybody constantly is telling you what you have to be. I mean, if you're not playing that level at that age, you're done. You're not gonna get it. You're not gonna be there. So people constantly are telling you to not trying, to stop, to quit, to do another thing. So I think for me, the biggest win for me is to when you get how can I say that hang on, this should thanks, reward, right? When you get reward for everything that you've done, it's pretty hard for the most players. Is because you're getting older, and you have to choose what you're gonna do for the rest of your life. Are you playing tennis? Are you gonna study for engineer? I'm gonna be a doctor. So it's pretty hard from a teenager to make this this kind of choice, right? And
Hmm.
in the most of countries, playing tennis is really expensive.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I feel like the people don't have the opportunity to really try. You know, I don't think
Hmm.
they have the possibility to choose. I think the most of players they just follow the path and keep going their lives and
Yeah.
simply stop playing. I was playing when in this gap of 5 years that I didn't play tennis. I tried to play as much as possible,
Hmm.
but it was like weekends. It was like sometimes during when I was like killing classes, I was playing tennis.
Yeah. And did you
So
have this thought that like it would still happen for you? Or in those 5 years, did you think, tennis is just going to be something that I play for fun? I'm not going to come back to this? Or was there always something inside you that believed you would come back to, a high level of tennis and find an opportunity to try to compete on a professional level?
no, no, I never thought about chasing this dream again.
Hmm.
But talking about tennis, I think tennis has everything to compare with life. You know, a teenager who plays tennis, practice every day. He's used it with the routine. He gets used it with he gets the resilience to be successful. I think.
Yeah.
So for the players that really try they're really hard on this, I think they're gonna be successful whatever they try to do in life. That's what I
Yeah.
think. So what was the question? The final question. Yes, I played often. I think I answered everything.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, like, how do you think then, if you didn't think the dream was alive, you thought that professional tennis might be a struggle for you, that where you come from in Brazil, there's, not much help and support financially to help get players,
Mhm.
onto the professional tour. What do you think, both from like an ITF perspective and from like the Brazilian Tennis Federation, what would you want them to do differently so that more players like you could have an opportunity when they're younger to believe that this dream is possible and to actually be able to make it happen? Like, what changes would you want to see?
I think it's really deep, this question. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if I could solve this problem, but I think it's deeper than this because it's about tickets, it's about hotels, it's about.
Hmm.
I think the sponsors. Um, that's what I think. I don't know. I might be saying something wrong here, but I think at this level, sponsors which helps. These kind of players like ITF players, they're
Yeah.
not searching for a payback. They're like they're
Hmm.
helping because they love tennis, because they like you, because they believe in you, and maybe in the future you're gonna provide something for him that money couldn't buy. But I don't see another reason for a sponsor help a guy like me here in Brazil. That's what the problem is. But
Yeah.
the organization in Brazil, they help a lot of players, but
Hmm.
especially young and the top players only, not the players that are struggling to be a pro. They help
Hmm.
who already got there. So I think that is the problem. They are helping the top of the pyramid instead of be helping here in the beginning. I think.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I think it's a story of like perseverance. What you went through, first of all, in the last match that you played, being down 6-0, 5-2, but still believing. But then also throughout your career, you said you had to play, you had to do 3 jobs at one point. You had to do this and had to quit tennis for a bit, at least at the pro level, at least from an
Mhm.
ambition standpoint. and you had to you went to business, went to engineering, other dreams that you had. But it really was a thing of perseverance to play tennis. Now that you got that ATP point and felt your dream kind of come to light or start to come to light, what are your ambitions at this point now moving forward in the sport? And if I could also add just a small part to the question, what are your thoughts about, for example, tennis longevity now and how that's improving in the sport at the moment?
Well, I don't feel old, so I see Djokovic doing 37, doing what
No,
he's
you're not at
doing.
all.
So
You're not at all.
I feel really young.
Yeah.
So I mean, right now, these 2 points allowed me to play pretty much every quality that I signing. So it opened a lot of doors for me. I don't have sponsors, but I got some money that I saved, so I think I can sponsor myself for the next month. But what I want to do in the future, I'm playing in Bolivia in the last week of this month. I'm playing the first quali, my first professional player after what happened, and I wanna enjoy the atmosphere. I'm gonna be there the whole week. I hope I can go. I hope I can win as much matches as possible. But I'm gonna feel the atmosphere. I'm gonna see the other players. I'm gonna realize what I have to do, what I have to improve for the next year. I at this ITP level, I think you're gonna be wasting. The count is always you're always gonna lose money, right? Because I mean, you have to win the tournament to pay your bills, and it's really tough. You win a tournament, but I think it's a big opportunity for me to meet young players, meet their daddies, maybe in the future be coaching them, or maybe meet a potential guy which can be somewhere that I'm can that I that would be impossible for me. Maybe help this guy to reach there. It would be awesome for me. So I think it's a door which opens a lot of doors for me. So of course, I'm gonna be focused on my professional career. I'm gonna be focused 100% of this. But even though if it didn't work as perfect as I think it will be, it's gonna be nice. I think. But in the next year, I hope I can be around 800. I think for me, it would be nice finishing the next year in the top 800. It would be great for me to, you know, figure out next year I'm gonna be doing this again or not. I lost a lot of money. I'm gonna be teaching whatever. So I think for me it's gonna be year after year, and next year I'm gonna be playing. I don't know how, but I will. I promise.
Yeah, well, that's good to hear. You're mentioning earlier about Brazilian tennis. Well, Brazilian tennis is actually doing very well right now. I mean, on the women's side, you have a player like Haddad Maia, who just won the WTA Elite Trophy in the singles and the doubles. You have players like Thiago Seyboth Wield, who is doing well, as Thiago Monteiro, and other players like that. What are your thoughts about the state of Brazilian tennis right now and how it's kind of doing at the moment?
Well, I think in the future we're gonna be with at least 5 players at the top 100. There's a good guys coming. There's João Fonseca, which won U.S. Open. I met him. I had the opportunity to practice with him for 1 week, and he's a golden boy. Not because he's the way he plays, but the boy that he is, he enjoys to be there. He has fun playing tennis. He's really polite, educate. So I think this guy is gonna be the future, the next Brazilian tennis player, right? There's Thiago White, which is playing really good. And I know all the three. And Thiago Monteiro is it's like a machine. He hits really hard both sides. I think he could be doing a little bit better than he is, but We see a tough tournaments for him if you he doesn't get that lucky at the draws. So I think he could be doing better than he is. But I maximum respect for them because what they reach is really hard here in Brazil. It's kind of impossible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, and we have Guga, the foreign player. That's the Brazilian problem because we are used with this, or you're the best, or you're gonna be divested for. I mean, or you're gonna be. How can I say? The people is gonna get really hard on you because they use it with Gustavo Kirten, they use with Pelé, Senna, um, great idols, sport idols, right? So Bellucci was a great player. He got top 30 at the world, and people here in Brazil they hate him just because. I mean, he's not he's kind of shy, right? So he's not the person that the people are used to. So they're gonna be, oh, come on, he could have win, he could have played much better. Come on, he always lose. He plays like awesome, but he keeps losing. And I think it's really hard here in Brazil to people to like you.
Yeah. So we talked about, kind of your ambition to continue to play and kind of see where you go year on year. Of course, with tennis, most of the time people spend their time focusing on who's in the top 100, maybe look at who's in the top 200. But of course, there are experiences that are similar for players kind of, across the whole professional level. And one topic this year that's been particularly controversial, maybe you've seen on social media, with the
Mhm.
players complaining about the different balls and changing balls each week. What's it like at your level on the tours? Like, do you personally notice challenges of switching balls a lot? And kind of what do you think about the problem, as somebody who kind of is in the professional tennis scene, but from a coaching perspective and a playing perspective, do you have any insight you can share with us?
Well, my coaching, if I speak like I was coaching, I would say, come on, man, it's the same ball for the other player. Come on, you
Mhm.
can be complaining about this, whatever. But when you're playing at this level, I think every detail matters a lot.
Yes.
So I think for them, it would be really hard to play using one ball this week, playing another ball in the next week. I think the ATP could be more participate on this and provide the balls or provide some rules about it, right? Like you can buy this or this. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say that because
Yeah.
it's kind of backwards for what we are fighting, but at the same time, it's something that it has to be a pattern. It makes sense.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
makes sense for
yeah.
sure. I'd have one question. I think we're gonna have to finish up soon on the pod, but kind of a final question. What do you think is a big kind of misconception of playing on the ATP tour? So something that some people might not understand or know about it, or something in your experience that you think people would be interesting to hear about from the perspective of a pro tennis player.
I think it's kind of every level that you play tennis, it has the same atmosphere. Even though you're playing like a beginning tournament, the feeling it's kind of like the same. It's the same. It's the same feeling. You get nervous. You get sweating. You think too much. You don't sleep well one day before, and I think it's just getting the same, but you're getting used with the situation. I think we are professionals, so it doesn't have to count. So we have to try to keep our mind in the business and don't think about the rest. But well, I it's a good question.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on. Genuine salutes to you. I mean, to your journey, which is really interesting, and thank you for the story at the beginning. It's also telling about the journey. I'll root for you on the tour, and thank you for coming on. We really do appreciate your time here. So thank you.
No, I appreciate for you guys the time for the attention. Sorry about my English. I hope I can do better next one. But keep following me. I hope I'll be in the next level next year. I hope I can be getting better every year. I think playing my best right now, and I feel like I could be playing much better. So I mean, I feel like I can do it. I don't know how, but I can do it. I will try. So thank you guys. Thank you a lot.
Yeah.
And where can people find you? What's your Instagram? How can people follow you?
My Instagram is Jeff Wendler, just like it's right in there. Of course, there's no space, but you guys can find me there. I try. I'm not. I don't post a lot, but I'm trying to keep my followers knowing what I'm doing, what I'm eating, or what I'm practicing, whatever. I try to keep them uh, updated. So follow me
Amazing.
there, and I'm gonna be posting the tournaments. I mean, trying to show what is this atmosphere at this beginning level, not just the ATP finals, for example.
Yeah. Well, good luck to you in 2024, and hopefully we can have you back on the podcast and you can share more about the updates of your journey. But thanks for your time today.
Yeah, thank you so
Thank you,
much.
guys.
See you guys later at the next podcast. Thanks.